Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Friday, December 19th. Ian Cameron and Matt Robinson with you on this Friday. Alex, of course, back on Sunday as he returns home. We're ready to break down the Friday NHL slate. We've got 5 games on tap tonight. We will get to those in just a moment. But first, we'll look back on Thursday. Win some, lose some. Thursday is pretty much how it went, up and down, some wins, some losses. A little bit of a mixed bag overall as far as the results go. One thing to point out is, and we were talking about this just before we went live to start the show here, Matt and I, is the unders have been the way to go the last couple nights. If you look at Wednesday and Thursday combined. Now, last night, it was 6 unders and 4 overs in the 10 games, so it wasn't like a huge landslide for unders last night. But, of course, we had the 5-0 under result with the 5 games Wednesday night. But just Wednesday and Thursday night combined, we are looking at 11-4 to the under here in the NHL these last 2 nights. And it is something to keep in mind for those that prefer, looking at overs like me and certainly Matt. I would even argue Matt's probably even bigger and over better than I am. And it's something worth noting at the very least right now. And the question is, why is this happening now? And I think this is happening now because, we look at a situation right now where the schedule we know has been condensed all year. Teams are playing a shit ton of games in a short period of time. The recovery time is not like it usually is. And I think it's leading to just, teams don't have their legs right now. To be able to play a game with pace, to be able to play a game where you can put yourself in optimal positions to score goals in this league, you have to play with pace. And I find the pace has been dragging, in a lot of games, especially the last few nights. And I think also we have seen, the illness bug, the flu bug start running rampant through various teams over the last several days to a week or two. And obviously that zaps you of energy. And obviously more teams are getting sick. It drains you more. You play with less pace, takes even more legs out of you. And as a result, I think you're seeing more blotting hockey and less offense because of all those factors. The travel, the condensed games in a short period of time, the illnesses that so many teams, players within many of these teams are dealing with right now. So that's what I think it boils down to. So for me personally, obviously, look, you have to handicap each game individually. If there's still a matchup that points to the over, I'm going to bet it. But I am going to be mindful of what we've seen here the last couple nights, probably make it lower units, lesser amounts, smaller bets, the next few nights as we head into the Christmas holiday season as far as overs are concerned. That being said, I will do my research assignment for this show once we get to Monday and Tuesday next week, the final 2 days before the Christmas break, because I'm going to run some numbers of what we have seen as far as overs and unders are concerned for the final 2 days before the Christmas break over the last, I would say we'll run it back the last 4 or 5 years. I'd probably stop at the pandemic year, and everything, past 2020. We'll just go back a few years and look to see what totals have been like in the NHL for the last 2 days before the break, because off the top of my head, I know we've had some monster over days, in that situation in the past. So I will run that and look into that probably sometime over the weekend, and we'll give you those numbers of totals results in the NHL heading into the Christmas break over the last few years. That'll be an interesting thing to look at as we get prepared for these last few days next week before the break. As far as last night's games are concerned, 3-1 Edmonton, very solid road win against the Boston Bruins last night. Connor McDavid with a shorthanded goal to put the game away. He again had a multi-point night. And shout out to Lane Hutson's brother getting his first NHL goal last night, Quinn Hutson. So well done for him getting his first NHL goal for the Oilers. It ended up being the game-winning goal for Edmonton as they beat Boston 3-1. Minnesota, they just keep on keeping on. 5-2 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Another steady night in net for Jesper Wallstedt. The team is now 3-0 since the Quinn Hughes trade. It's just been very impressive to watch. And I think we knew Quinn Hughes was going to make this team better. I don't know if we saw that it would awaken Vladimir Tarasenko from his coma or whatever he's been induced by in the early part of the season, because certainly a situation where he's played great all of a sudden these last few games since the acquisition of Quinn Hughes. Scored again last night for Minnesota. Very solid win on the road against the Blue Jackets last night, 5-2. Werenski, what a season for him again. He gets both Columbus goals last night, but it wasn't enough. Sorry about that. We hit the wrong button. We're back. 5-2 win there for Minnesota in that game last night. I also want to point out, going back to Edmonton, Boston, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Tristan Jarry left that game. Cal Pickard had to finish that game for Edmonton with the injury suffered. So again, that's been an issue with Tristan Jarry in the past. It's not only his consistency one start to the next, but it's been his injury history. And here he is leaving a game due to injury again. He'll be examined for further evaluation. So not what you wanted to see at Edmonton with Tristan Jarry getting hurt there. And Calvin Pickard did come in and played well, and he did play well. But like I said, not what you want to see. Let's give the LA Kings credit. They finally win, but I wouldn't say it was an impressive win for the Kings, 2-1 over Tampa. They were outshot 13-3 in the third period. Let's give Anton Forsberg credit. It's a guy that's going to play a lot more here in the near future with Darcy Kemper out, and it was definitely a situation for the LA Kings where, Forsberg was good. Give him credit. They scored just enough against Tampa last night, who were still missing. Well, they got Ryan McDonough back, but they were still without the other three on the blue line. There was still no Hedman, no Chernak, no Lilleberg. They did get Ryan McDonough back, but LA was able to score just enough to get a 2-1 victory there over Tampa Bay in that game last night. So they made the right decision, because we were thinking on a back-to-back, would we see the veteran journeyman Phoenix Copley? But we did not. And LA was able to get the win there. 4-0 Washington. I don't know where you begin with the Leafs right now at this point in time. It was a horrible effort, piss poor. You couldn't find any of the top players with a telescope last night. They were all bad. Matthews, Nyes, Nylander. And I hate to say Nyes, but Nyes is, hasn't had that same year we saw last year, and he's got to pick it up. But Matthews, Nyes, Nylander, Tavares, none of those guys, you could find them on the ice last night. The power play was embarrassing how bad it was. It could barely even get time in the offensive zone. If not for Dennis Hildeby, it actually could have been a lot worse than 4-0. And there's some real issues. I can't believe we're even here at this point, but is there now a fracture with the Leafs and Craig Berube, the players and Craig Berube? Because that looked like a team that just, they're starting to show signs of quitting on the coach right now, and the coach has had enough. He's fed up. He's throwing his arms in the air and saying stuff like, no passion, no energy, no intensity. They seem to be interested way more in playing hockey last night than us. How do you explain that with where you are in the standings? Craig Berube was asked, and Craig Berube says, I don't know, go ask them. That's basically, it's not my problem, not my fault. I'm coaching them. I'm trying to get them ready. They just suck right now. They're not playing good. It's them. It's their problem, not mine. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. And I have not even for a second during any of the problems involving the Leafs this year entertained the notion that maybe there would be a coaching change. I'm starting to think there could be. I don't think it's going to be in the immediate future. I think it would really have to get bad. They'd have to absolutely just bottom right out and just go on a massive skid and losing streak moving forward, I think, for that to happen. But like I said, it's getting worse, not better. It's getting worse, not better all around with the Leafs. And that's why, one step forward, two steps back. And by the way, you should be thankful, you beat Chicago, because you were terrible in that game for the first two periods. You're lucky you were able to rescue yourself in the third period the other night. You played one good period of hockey in your last six, the last two games. So more problems for Toronto. But for Washington, let's give them credit. Bounce back win. They needed it. They had been struggling, and they shut out Toronto 4-0 last night. Ottawa shuts out Pittsburgh 4-0. God, this was frustrating because I had the team total over for Ottawa, and I had the full game over here, and I decided to go with the full game over for best bet. So from a best bet standpoint, that was frustrating because I was going back and forth the whole time. I should have went with the Ottawa team total. Ottawa did their part. They got the 4 goals for the team total, but we got nothing out of Pittsburgh last night. Senators get the shutout win 4-0. That's pretty pathetic by Pittsburgh. Their dads were there. It was a dad's trip game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and to play like that in front of your father's not good for the Pittsburgh Penguins. More defensive breakdowns. The goaltending, whether it's Shelov's or whether it's Skinner, none of them are good enough to bail out a team when they play like that defensively. 4-0 Ottawa, though. Nice win for them last night. Montreal beat Chicago 4-1. They opened it up in the third period of that game. Chicago fans are going to be frustrated. They're going to keep hearing it. They're going to keep having to hear from the media and everyone that covers the team about the record for Chicago without Connor Bedard. And now it's 3-14-1, something like that, the record without Connor Bedard. And now they're 0-2 without him here the last couple of games of this road trip against Toronto and Montreal. So like I said, it's definitely not good here as far as Chicago right now and the way they've been able to play without Connor Bedard. The one positive is the guy that scored their only goal was Frank Nazar, and they need him desperately to get going offensively, especially now that you're missing Connor Bedard. So to see him get on the board was great. Zach Bolduc gets 2 goals for Montreal. He had an issue scoring at home this year at the Bell Center. He finally gets not only one, but his first 2 goals of the year in Montreal to get a 4-1 win there. 5-3 Buffalo. We missed with the Philly first goal, first period. Unfortunately, Buffalo scored and then Philly scored right after. That was a little frustrating, but we did have the over by Fecta, and both of these legs of the over by Fecta cashed here. Flyers and Sabres. 5-3 Buffalo. Give Buffalo credit. Brutal spot. Found a way to win. They did get to break, getting Ersson instead of Vladar. He's the inferior of the 2 goalies for Philadelphia. But like I said, certainly Buffalo took advantage of it. The offense was solid. They got the job done 5-3. And credit to Alex Lyon. Philly took a 2-1 lead. It looked like this game was going to get away from Buffalo at that point. Lyon made some terrific saves. Lyon was very, very good last night. Kept Buffalo afloat when it was 2-1 Flyers, and then Buffalo ended up getting the 5-3 win there. Rangers, they're on the road, which means they have a better chance to win, and win they did. They get an overtime win. JT Miller with the overtime winner to beat St. Louis 2-1. I think that was David's best bet on the show yesterday, so he cashes that. Good to see that. Calgary beat Seattle 4-2 last night. Another one that slips through the cracks for the Seattle Kraken last night. They had a 2-1 lead, but 3 unanswered goals in the third period. For Calgary, they outshoot Seattle 14-4, really 46-23 the shots. Calgary doubled them. If not for Joey Decord, it could have been a lot worse. That's the one positive for Seattle. Joey Decord had a better game, but like I said, not enough offense. What else is new from Seattle or from a Lane Lambert coach team for that matter? And Calgary with a 4-2 win there. And then we wrapped up the night with a good result for me betting wise. Just bet it perfectly. I said, I don't know if San Jose is going to beat Dallas in this game, but I looked at that series history, noting that even though Dallas, and after last night's 5-3 win for Dallas, that's now 8 straight wins over San Jose. But in every recent meeting between the Stars and Sharks in San Jose had scored at least 3 goals. So I like that San Jose team total over 2.5. We like the full game over as well. We thought Dallas would score. So then once Nedeljkovic was in, I definitely thought Dallas could get their offense going, and he made it easy on them because he just a nice Christmas gift before December 25th from Alex Nedeljkovic to the Dallas Stars, and specifically putting on the Ritz, Justin Ritzkovian, just put it right on his tape. Basically, couldn't have had a better assist to that goal than what Alex Nedeljkovic served up in that game on that Ritzkovian goal with that giveaway. But Colin Graff remains red hot. He got 2 of the goals for San Jose. I know that was a bargain bin for Matt. It's been a bargain bin for me in the past. So Colin Graff scoring again. But Dallas finds a way 5-3 over the San Jose Sharks. Like I said, San Jose actually outshot Dallas 37-30. Thought even in defeat, San Jose played an okay game. You obviously want to get a few more saves. That was a problem last night. And Dallas, on the other hand, did what they needed to do. Front end of a back-to-back, not pretty, but you get 2 points and you win 5-3. And we will talk about Dallas, of course, later in the show because they're playing Anaheim on a back-to-back here tonight. Matt, thoughts on the Thursday board, and how did it go for you?
Overall, a pretty good night. I know you mentioned it early in the breakdown, but obviously it's not a huge overswing currently. Guys are getting tired. Guys are looking forward to the holiday break, couple days off. I think teams need it. I mean, with the condensed schedule, Olympics obviously on the horizon. So It's just been a little lower and slower. There have been games with some juice in the first. There was a fair share of first period overs yesterday, but then those games, ended 3-1, 4-1, 2-1, 4-0, things like that. So definitely a little bit more reluctant on, maybe how many over bets I'm putting out. I did have an over in the Wild Blue Jackets game, which obviously came to hit. The Wild stay hot offensively. The Blue Jackets can chip in. The Wild, as good as their D core now is, they still are very offensive defensemen. So, I think they're going to try and win those games, 4-2 games, 5-2 games, 5-3 games. It's not going to be a lot of 2-1 LA King style hockey with the Wild. So I think they're going to, ride that momentum, but I think they're a good look for overs. Um, as there's not a lot of teams that I love for overs right now. I think the Wild, depending on who they're playing, are definitely an option if they're playing someone that can score some goals. I didn't have Flyers Buffalo, but that was kind of an exciting game to watch. A good back and forth game. And then obviously, my focus as far as watching was on the Sharks Stars. A lot of Sharks buddies here in the Reno area, so it's always fun when they play. Unlike the last couple seasons, it's not a guaranteed 6-1 Dallas win or anything like that. The Sharks can hold their own. They stay in games. They're young. They're feisty. So it was a good back and forth game. I think in the first 5 minutes, I think it could have been 3-2 Dallas. I think both teams had numerous chances in those first couple minutes. Maverick Bourque hits a post. There's kind of a shuffle in front of the Sharks net. Otter had to make a couple big saves. There was a mini breakaway there in the first few minutes. So a lot of action right out of the gate. We get the first goal. Rupe scores on that pass from Ransonen, and then there's the through Ryan Reeves tip by the other guy on San Jose. It was his first goal as a Shark, and then that gets called back. So me, I was like, great, there goes the first period over. But luckily Wyatt buries that little sneaky. He actually had two really nice goals last night for us to get the first period over. Then San Jose kind of hangs around. They didn't score on the power play, but they scored right after the power play, kind of make it 2-1. Then Wyatt gets a Dallas back, to a 2-goal lead. Then it's 3-2. Then it's 4-2. Then it's 4-3. Very back and forth hockey. We talked about it a bit before the show. I didn't really feel at any point Dallas was like in trouble of losing, but they definitely were never at any point like had it locked up, even especially after being up 2-0, giving San Jose that first goal. Had they got to 3-0, I think San Jose might take their foot off the gas a little bit, but they hung around, and then obviously, Nedeljkovic gave Dallas an early Christmas present. I thought it was hilarious that the Stars
He sure did.
team, well, and the Stars social media team didn't hold back. They said Merry Christmas to the Dallas Stars, I guess, and even the Sharks broadcast, because that's what I had to watch here, being semi-local. They were like, "Oh man, you just cannot do that." So, give Nedeljkovic credit; he did play really well in the third period. I think Dallas definitely could have, gotten to 5-3, 6-3, pretty early in that third period, and he kept him in it, so he gave him a chance. And then the old man in his 18th season, fucking buries and shuts and closes out the game for the Stars. I was laughing with my buddies that I sent a picture of Jamie Benn back in 07 when he got drafted. But he's been, through the era of the Sharks being good and then the Sharks being really bad and then the Sharks now being, a respectable team again. He's had something like 56 points in his career just against San Jose. So he loves to ruin their day. I know. I saw Wyatt Johnston in his last like 6 or 8 games against the Sharks has like 19 points or something crazy, which is very wild. I didn't know that pregame. I probably would have jumped on Wyatt props, but good to see him get 2 goals on the score sheet and good for Dallas to get the win. But yeah, overall, I didn't have a lot of bets out there. I think I was up a little bit because I did have some Stars bets. I had their team total, first period, full game over. It was weird to me that it was a 5.5. I figured San Jose would chip in, and then I thought Dallas could get 6 goals on their own. Just when they are playing well, they had a couple days off, a good practice. They're getting healthier. So that's good to see. But yeah, nice little 5-game Friday and then big 13-game card tomorrow. So a lot to look forward to. And then, after, what is it, Monday or after Tuesday, I think we have 3 days off. So it'd be nice to get a little break and get these guys healthy and moving again, because I know the pace has slowed down a bit. I still don't think it'll get crazy with the Olympics coming up. A lot of top end guys are looking ahead to Milan, so I think that'll play a part in betting. And then I think after the Olympics, we'll get a stretch where I'm back, pretty heavy on overs until we get right up there close to the playoffs, and then you've got to look at who's in the playoffs, who's maybe locked in a high seed and not really giving it all their all and things like that. So,
yeah, just to be clear, I'm not cutting off betting overs cold turkey right now, but what I am doing is I'm scaling back the amounts on the bets, that we have to do. We're keeping everything smaller with overs right now. We're still betting some overs, picking our spots, because you still have to take them when it makes sense. But like I said, we are going to be picking our spots, and we're going to keep everything a little bit smaller as far as the amount when it comes to overs, just at least for the next couple of days. Yeah, that Flyers radio announcer, that's Tim Saunders, by the way. He's been the radio announcer for almost 30 years with the Flyers. He's been doing it for a long time. That, to me, I couldn't care less about that. It's not really a big deal. You know how many times I've heard buddies of mine say, why don't you blow me? Do you know how many times I've heard that over the years? That's a big nothing burger in my mind. If they want to reprimand him and suspend him for 2 games, okay, fine. But you don't fire a guy for that. That's a bunch of nonsense if they do that. Just, give him a couple of days. That's, guys say that to each other all the time sometimes, and, jokingly. He probably didn't think he was still on the air. Clearly he didn't, because you heard him in the audio clip that's been floating around. We asked to his partner there, are we on the air? Oh, we're on the air still? Yeah, that's a nothing burger to me. Not a big deal. It's just hey, it was funny, gets attention obviously, but like I said, just if the Flyers are that concerned about their fans and kids listening to that, hearing something like that, yeah, okay, you tell them be careful next time, give them a 2-game suspension and move on with your life. That's the way I see it. All right, on we go to this. Speaking of move on with our life, we're going to move on to the Friday NHL card, and what a game to start. Can't wait for this one. Playoff rematch, division rivals, Carolina, Florida. We've got the Hurricanes minus 135, road favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Look, Carolina, first time playing Florida since the playoff loss in the Eastern Conference Final last year. We understand that. They're playing great hockey. I definitely think this could be a spot Carolina wins. I bet Carolina on the open, but the open's not available anymore. This is up to minus 135. I'm even seeing it higher in a couple of spots, minus 140 as well. Like, I bet this at minus 120, for goodness sake. And this was like yesterday afternoon, late yesterday afternoon when I saw this minus 120 on Carolina. But now it's gotten to the price range that's a little unsettling, especially because, again, Florida playing some really good hockey, 6-1 their last 7 games. We've certainly talked about how we figured as they get closer and closer to getting, Matthew Tkachuk back, getting some of their injured parts back, how this team was going to eventually start putting it together. And they are doing that right now, even still with a couple of key players out. Carter Verhaeghe's been unbelievably red hot right now for this team. Sam Bennett heating up. Brad Marchand. How about in the last 12 games? Bennett, Verhaeghe, Marchand, combined 44 points. That's right, 44 points for the Florida Panthers in the last 12 games from those 3 players, Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Marchand. They've been absolutely outstanding. Sergei Bobrovsky in net here for the Florida Panthers, as we pretty much expected he would be for this game. It's basically been a Kochetkov and Bussy, Carolina goaltending battery. Freddie Anderson, and I think rightfully so, has become the forgotten man. Brandon Bussy is projected to be the starting goalie here tonight for Carolina, and the run he has put together has been something special. You're not supposed to walk in to the National Hockey League with a brand new team like Brandon Bussy has and be able to obviously win, 11 of your first 12 appearances in net for the Hurricanes, but he has been able to do that. Certainly this has been a circled spot for Carolina. One thing, too, that's worth mentioning, remember how we talked about Detroit was coming off the road trip. They squeaked out a game against the Islanders, came back to win. I don't know if they played that great, but they found a way to come back to win. I think you could say the same about Florida coming off the road trip, where they beat LA the first game back home after the road trip. They weren't great. They hung on at the end. Kings stink anyway right now for the most part and can't score. I know they won last night, but they got bailed out by the goaltender, Anton Forsberg. They still didn't play a very good game, and they still only scored 2 goals, both of which from Adrian Kempe. This could be the spot where it hits Florida now, because Detroit, if you remember, they won that game against the Islanders, and then Utah rolls in and beats them right after that. So, yeah, I think Carolina's the side. The problem is I don't love the price now at minus 135, but I wouldn't be stepping in front of Carolina tonight. This is clearly a spot that they've circled probably. They're playing great hockey as well. That was utter dominance against a Nashville team that had been playing better of late. So, like I said, I think when you look at this matchup, just don't want to step in front of Carolina, spot that's circled. But the price not right. I mean, you're talking about a red-hot Florida team now, and you can get upwards of plus 115 with them as a home underdog with the way they've been playing. So it's just the pricing is just not where I feel comfortable with recommending Carolina now compared to where it was at the opener. 5.5. I mean, I do think this could get chippy. These are two teams that, don't like each other, have playoff history. So I have mild lean over, but again, with the over bets, we're going to keep them smaller for the time being. And that's where I'm at with this game. Matt, what do you think here? Oh, by the way, Anton Lundell, I'm just going to say it right now with Anton Lundell. Not only are we betting his goal prop again, but as long as he remains in the bargain bin price range, he's going to be a bargain bin special for me on this show. We had him as a bargain bin special against LA the other night, or was it against Tampa? Either way, we've been backing Anton Lundell to score goals repeatedly. I think it was the LA game where we took Anton Lundell as a bargain bin special, and you could still get plus 330 at some spots for him to find the back of the net, plus 330 at BetMGM, plus 310 at DraftKings and FanDuel. So that's just mechanical bet right now with what we're seeing from Anton Lundell. Yeah, it was the LA game. Thank you, Tim. It was the LA game. We had Anton Lundell as a bargain bin special, but we're riding it again here tonight. Matt, what do you think? Hurricanes, Panthers?
Yeah, I think Florida's playing good hockey, so I might take a shot here with Florida, but I'm going to split it with the team total over 3. That way, if we get a high scoring affair, there's a lot of penalties, a lot of power play goals, and it's like a 4-3 Florida loss. We make some of our money back. I do, because of the history, there is some motivation here. Obviously, being a playoff rivalry from previous seasons, but it is the regular season still. So I do like the first period over. I think both teams will be, going pretty heavy early, but we could see some penalties. It is regular season hockey, and neither of these teams are teams I'm staying far away from with overs. But I think I'll take a shot in the first period over and full game over, but both pretty small bets. I think this is a game we could see 2 goals in early. I could see us getting to 6, but I could also see it, 2-1 after the first and then end, 3-1, and then we split it up. So, yeah, I think I lean Florida here, and then I think I'll jump on the overs.
By the way, Jacob Slavin, who's back, is only third pairing because they're working him back. They're just gauging his ice time right now, working him gradually back into the rotation for Carolina. But still having him back makes a world of difference. And you're right, much healthier Carolina blue line. And like I said, it was dominance for them against Nashville the other night. Evan Rodriguez, we'll keep it. I think he's good. I think he's in because there was some talk that he got hurt against LA the other night. Lower body injury, but no, he's in the lineup. He's good to go. Paul Maurice did say all along it wasn't anything major for Evan Rodriguez, and clearly it was not anything major because he is in the lineup tonight for the Florida Panthers in this game. All right, Vancouver and the New York Islanders. We've got the Islanders rather, minus 135 home favorites, 5.5 the total, shaded to the under here in this game. So there's a lot of things that say this is going to be a 2-1 game, 3-1 game. There's a lot that says that here in this game based on the personnel situation. And that when you look at it, you've got multiple key injuries, both sides, especially for the Islanders. You still have, the majority of your core offensive players for the Canucks outside of Elias Pettersson, and he doesn't show up half the time anyway. Uh, but there's still, I think, a little bit more up front for them. For the Islanders, they're missing a ton of artillery. You're already missing Kyle Palmieri. Bo Horvat's out, the former Canuck, so he won't get a chance to play his former team once again tonight. And now Matthew Barzal may not suit up tonight for this New York Islanders team. So you're missing a lot on offense. And that's the scare. Not to mention, both teams trending under. Vancouver's overrun that we talked about weeks ago, that's ancient history now, because lately they've been transitioning into more of a let's tighten it up, let's win lower scoring games, do it just enough offensively, and rely on Thatcher Demko, who will be in net tonight and has been absolutely tremendous since returning from injury. He's been great for the Vancouver Canucks. He's in great form right now. They're off back-to-back wins against the Rangers and Devils, 5-1, the combined score in those two games. Like I said, Demko's been awesome here to start this road trip, in net for both games and given up just the one goal in those two games combined. Back in net tonight. Sorokin in net here for the New York Islanders. His form has been great. 8-0-1 under run, as Jonathan says, for Vancouver. I am not excited about betting over, but I did in this game because of the series history. Series history is just, I can't explain it. But 10-0 to the over in the head-to-head meetings between these two teams. The last 10 have gone over. 14-1 is the run for overs head-to-head in the last 15 meetings between the Canucks and the Islanders. It's been like, and on this show, I've been preaching, endorsing, and backing overs involving a very strong series history. Well, it can't get any stronger than this. 10 straight overs head-to-head with the Canucks and the Islanders, and 14-1 to the over in the last 15 meetings. So for that reason only, and especially now it's 5.5, it's plus money, I'm going to sprinkle on the over here, 5.5 in this game, Canucks Islanders. At you can get plus 105 with this now at some spots. You can get a plus price on this over 5.5. But I caution everybody, this is a series history bet only, and this is a small bet. This could easily be a 2-1, 3-1 hockey game. It very easily could. But again, I am a series history guy when it comes to overs in this sport, especially with the way they've been cashing for the majority of the season. So I will take over 5.5 at plus 105 to plus 110, but with lots of caution. Let's put it that way. I like the draw, too. I think we've got a great chance for overtime here. East versus West. I expect a tightly contested game. So give me the draw here with the Canucks and the Thailanders. The Thailanders are back tonight. I think we got a chance for some overtime here. Matt, what do you think with this one? Vancouver Canucks, New York Islanders.
I'm in the same boat. I'm not a huge series history tells all, but this is one of those. It's similar to, we took an L last week after TNT games were 9-0 to the over. Both games that Wednesday night missed the over. But when a series history is 14-1, all 14 of those have had 7 or more goals. 10-0 in the last 10. It's just something I'm gonna take. So I was on this as of yesterday. I'll be on the over at 5.5. I think, just given the series history, it's worth a shot. I agree. If you're looking at everything current, it's probably not a big over circle, but it is a 5.5. So, maybe it's a 3-2 game that gets an empty net, and that's what gets us to 6, and we get the win. Maybe, some injuries out prompts some, borderline AHL guys to play really good hockey, and we get a 5-4 game like the series has trended to. So, again, it's not one that I've circled in the sense of I've been looking forward to this game for weeks. Given these teams' current form, I don't love it, but you can't argue with streaks like that. So I'll be on the over. That's it for me. No sides here.
Come on, there we go. As far as the new players for Vancouver that they got from Minnesota, Zeev Buium, Liam Ogren, Marco Rossi. I'm going to dabble on all three to score tonight. They've all been factors. They've all been noticeable. And, we've seen Buium get on the board. We've seen Liam Ogren get his first goal for Vancouver in their last game against the Rangers. The only one we're missing is Rossi. Rossi's the only one that hasn't scored his first goal yet with the Canucks. And I'm going to sprinkle, as far as the Islanders, on Heineman here tonight for a goal prop on their side of the equation. And again, if Barzal, is ruled out tonight, there's going to be even more on his plate. Game time decision once again for Barzal here in this game tonight. So he hasn't been ruled out yet. But I like Emil Heineman here as far as a goal prop for the Islanders. All right, New Jersey and Utah. We've got the Utah Mammoth -140 home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. I'm waiting on the goaltending matchup, and if it's the goaltending matchup, I think it will be. Please, Sheldon Keefe, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't put Markstrom in there, man. You got a nice win against Vegas. Jake Allen was not good. He was great in that game against Vegas too. But I'm seeing, well, it's actually unconfirmed yet at the Daily Face-Off. RotoWire saying expected to be Jacob Markstrom. I can't see that. I just can't see that. How do you turn away from Jake Allen after how well he played against Vegas the other night? New Jersey played a better game, and Vegas was a little bit banged up, but it was a great game from Allen. You win 2-1 in a shootout. New Jersey does not play tomorrow. So this is not a back-to-back. They don't play again until Sunday when they return home to face Buffalo. So I think you got to roll right back with Jake Allen here if you're Sheldon Keefe, because he's been better than Markstrom lately. There's no denying that. You watch these two goalies, and Jake Allen's outperformed Jacob Markstrom here in recent games for the Devils. So if Allen's in, I'm interested in New Jersey. There's a tough spot for Utah. Okay, Utah's on 3-game road trip, 4th game in 6 nights, all with travel. And the last time they came off a road trip and returned home, they lost. And they lost to L.A., who hasn't even been playing good hockey of late. They lost 4-2 on home ice, Utah, the last time they came back home off a road trip. So I don't trust them in this spot, especially at -140. New Jersey beat them twice last year, swept the season series, going 2-0 head-to-head against the Utah Mammoth. So I'm interested in Jersey here, +120, but I'm holding off until we get the goalie confirmation on the Devils side. Check the Patreon page later to find out if I am indeed pulling the trigger on the New Jersey Devils, and I will be if it is indeed Jake Allen here in net for this game. Markstrom, probably not pulling the trigger now on New Jersey here in this game. That's how much of a difference I think it is right now. Still, I wouldn't be rushing to bet Utah here. It's a tough spot. 4-6, all with travel, off a road trip. I still think situationally it points to New Jersey, but I'm having a hard time getting to the Devils here now that we know it's likely going to be Jacob Markstrom. So that's unfortunate. I was going to lean under too if it was Allen, and even that goes kind of up in the air now with Markstrom in net. What do you think here, Matt, for this one, Devils Mammoth?
Yeah, this one's tough. I mean, I'm not gonna play Utah -140. It's tough because I think if the Devils do go with Markstrom, I lean Utah. With Allen, I might take a shot at +120 on the Devils side. I feel like this is like a 4-1 game, so I'm not going to be on the overs. Could be 1-0 after the first. So I do have a prop in this game, and no, it's not Stefan Nason anytime goal, which is bargain bin material. And I may take a shot betting that, but I do have a prop from this game I'll mention later, but I think sides and totals, it's a pass for me pregame.
Yeah, it's right now. It is Markstrom. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I still lean Devils. I don't know if I'm gonna take him now. I got to admit that's unsettling. That's unsettling. Dawson Mercer, Cody Glass repair, Cody Glass replace, Connor Brown. As far as goal props for New Jersey, with that to me have some value. They've actually been noticeable of late for them, no question. So those would be some props on their side. Obviously when it comes to Utah, Dylan Guenther has obviously been, terrific of late, much better. He scored, of course, last game. He's been scoring a lot lately for this team, no doubt. It's been scoring by committee elsewhere, but the ones that are also been, Keller, Peterka, Krause, Those have been the guys that have been scoring a little bit lately here for, New Jersey spot, boring bets, 100%. But Markstrom gives me uh, concerns and worries right now with what I'm seeing. But I do agree. I had the spot circled for New Jersey. I did a freaking Beyond the Lines video for Friday today for Wizard Sports Picks, and I gave out New Jersey because I thought Allen was going to be in that. Now I'm, oh well, what are you going to do? I still lean New Jersey, though. I wouldn't be laying it with Utah. All right, next up, we've got Winnipeg, Colorado. Draw might be in play there too, New Jersey, Utah. Winnipeg and Colorado. We've got Colorado minus 260 home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Everything I'm betting here is basically first period. We've got a, and John, there's a crazy first period goal in the first 5 minute streak going on right now with Colorado at home. And we only started to pick up on it a couple games ago. And we only really started to bet it a couple games ago. But it's just been unbelievably automatic, just repetitive. These Colorado home games, there's been a goal in the first 5 minutes of these games. And it really would not surprise me to see that be the case once again here with Winnipeg and Colorado tonight. And again, FanDuel, other books have this market. A goal in the first 5 minutes of the game, and you can still get plus 162 with it. A very, very good price as far as the goal in the first 5 minutes for Avalanche home games. Yeah, it's 13-1 for GIF in Avs home games, the run in their last 14 home games. Colorado has had a goal in the first 5 minutes in 13 of their last 14 home games. And I thought the over 1.5 streak for their home games was 12-1. Jonathan says it's 13-1 for the home games for the first period over 1.5 in Colorado home games. So ridiculous streaks for both. That's really all I like. We're just going to ride the hot hand with these two streaks. We've got goal in the first 5 minutes in the first period, 13-1 run in the last 14 Colorado home games, and then that 13-1 identical run for over 1.5 in the first period of these Colorado home games as well. That's what I'll bet here, those two. First 5 minutes goal, plus 162, and that first period over for this Winnipeg, Colorado game. Also a 13-1 run with that, and that over 1.5 is actually a reasonably cheap minus 125, minus 130, at some spots with that first period over here. So then it could slow down because we have seen, the propensity of that happening in some games the last few nights. Colorado at home, once they've been just phenomenal here on home ice. Don't really want to go against them. Winnipeg has some history in the playoffs with Colorado, so I'm sure you'll get a good effort from them. You'll probably get Hellebuck in net. By the way, Scott Wedgwood will be in net here for the Winnipeg Jets in this game. Of course, he just came back a few games ago. He played against Nashville both games, started in both of those games. 14-1-1, 2.11 goals against, 920 save percentage for Wedgwood this year. 14-1-4, I should say. 2.11 goals against, 920 save percentage. So, yeah, I'm looking just mostly at the first goal in the first 5 minutes, plus 162, and that first period over here with Jets and Avs. I'm staying clear away from the side. I'm not stepping in front of Colorado at home, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if Winnipeg gives them a game, even though they've been up and down. And they're coming off a 1-0 shutout loss against St. Louis the other night. I think they were definitely looking forward to this matchup against Colorado. I think there's some truth to that. I think they'll play Colorado hard. They'll play Colorado tough. I just don't trust them to go into Ball Arena and win. That's all there is to it. What do you think here, Matt? Winnipeg, Colorado.
Same boat. Trying to not just have the same picks, but first period over is the only thing I like in this game. I agree. I wouldn't be shocked if Winnipeg wins this game. I mean, as the season goes on, there's got to, Colorado's obviously a dominant team, but they will lose games.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg is a capable team of beating Colorado. So at plus 210, I could totally make a case for taking Winnipeg here. It's really tough to bet against Colorado, especially at home right now. Could Hellebuck have 35 saves and Winnipeg win 3-1? Absolutely. I think they're a capable team of beating Colorado. Just, obviously anyone in the NHL can beat anybody on any given night. But I think Winnipeg, they were a top the President's Trophy winner last year for a reason. So, the number one seed in the West. I know they've dealt with some injuries. They've been up and down. They're definitely not that team, but would it be shocking for them to beat Colorado? You don't see Winnipeg plus
They
210
did
very
win
often.
in Colorado the last time they were here, by the way. Last year, they got a 3-2 win over the Avalanche in overtime.
Yeah.
Last January.
And yeah. And I mean, again, a team like Winnipeg, you don't see them at plus 210 very often. They're not a Calgary team or a Seattle team going into Colorado plus 210. They're a capable team. I expect Colorado to win this game, but yeah, for me, just a first period over here.
Yeah, to me, those are the two best looks in this game. When you're talking about 13-1 streaks for both first goal in the first 5 minutes in the first period and that over first period in Colorado home games. I mean, it's just, yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely be taking that. Worth taking, worth riding that. I think as far as the game is concerned, I don't fault anyone for maybe taking a shot with Winnipeg plus 210. But for me, I still have to see more as far as the Jets, rounding their game into form. Keep in mind, too, Colorado at home this year, it's just ridiculous. What is it? 13-0-2. I mean, that's just amazing that they have not lost a game in regulation on home ice yet this year. 13-0-2 for the Colorado Avalanche at Ball Arena. So, like I said, definitely something to keep in mind going into this game. They have had 2 games go to overtime at home, but they have not lost a game in regulation. Their 2 losses on home ice were both in either overtime or a shootout. So interesting to see how this plays out. So the streak got snapped with Logan Stanley, but I'll tell you what, he still shot the puck like crazy against St. Louis the other night, and he almost scored a couple of times in that game. So I'm not totally abandoning the train here with Logan Stanley for the Winnipeg Jets. And again, you could still get unbelievable price with him to find the back of the net. Like, he actually came close on a couple of his chances the other night against the St. Louis Blues. Joel Hofer played a pretty good game in net as well. So you're getting still upwards of 26-1, plus 2,600 at Betway, 22 at BetMGM, 26 at FanDuel as well. Still getting some pretty massive prices here with Logan Stanley. And like I said, even though his goal scoring streak, consecutive game goal scoring streak came to an end against St. Louis, he had chances in that game. So I'm still going to roll the dice one more time, at least with that. McKinnon obviously has been, insane, absolutely insane with what we've seen out of him. Obviously, he's on a 3-game goal streak. He's on a 4-game point streak. Brock Nelson continues to be Mr. Undervalued for Colorado. He seems to be making an impact most nights for the Avs. His props still, to me, are worthy of a look right now with what we've seen out of him of late. No question about that. And then for Winnipeg, too, we've talked about how, Velarde on the top line with Scheifele and Connor has a little bit of value at the moment. So keep an eye on that. Velarde, like I said, has, and I think Velarde's had some success against Colorado in the past as well. So definitely something to keep in mind. Yeah, there you go. Velarde with goals in 3 of the last 4 versus Colorado. It's exactly why I mentioned him, Terry Ray Vegas, because I knew he had a track record of being able to put the puck in against the Colorado Avalanche. All right, next up, final game. Dallas-Anaheim. Dallas minus 115, road favorite, 6.5 the total here in this game. Stars on a back-to-back, obviously, win 5-3 against San Jose last night. Now on the back-to-back here against the Anaheim Ducks. Almost assuredly going to be a Casey DeSmith spot for the Dallas Stars in net here on the back-to-back. We'll see how he fares. I know in our chat, one of our he was actually Ryan Sura. He was on our show once earlier this year. He mentioned that while the numbers for DeSmith are strong, he has faced some of the weaker, you could say, offensive teams of late in his starts, and there's some truth to that. I think he's still played pretty well. You can't ask for much more than what we've seen from Casey DeSmith here in a backup role, no question about that. But there is some truth to that. Like, you have faced the Kings, the Jets, the Rangers in New York, where they never score, Ottawa when they were in a bit of an offensive drought. You know what I mean? It's true. The recent teams that Casey DeSmith has been placed in net by Glenn Gulletson have been some of the weaker, lighter scoring teams. This is going to be a bigger challenge. I do agree with that. Anaheim, will pose some threats here offensively for Casey DeSmith here in this game. And I'm kind of tempted by another over here with Dallas in this game because I don't know if Anaheim off a road trip. This is not a great optimal Anaheim spot either. They were out east, for a road trip. Now they are off the loss to end the trip against Columbus. So, but again, coming back home off that, not running to bet Anaheim here. But there's some truth to the fact that even though DeSmith's numbers are excellent, he's feasted on some weaker lower teams that have had trouble putting the puck in the net in some of his recent outings. So does that open the door for Anaheim to score? We'll see. Anaheim's played Dallas well, by the way. Even last year, when Anaheim was not anywhere close to what we've seen this year, Anaheim won both meetings against Dallas, in Dallas and at home against Anaheim. They took a 2-1 win over Dallas. Earlier, actually, they 2-1. They faced each other 3 times last year. Dallas did get an overtime win in March last year against Anaheim. And then, of course, earlier this year, it was back in November, and Anaheim was a big dog in that game, and I was on Anaheim in that game, and they won 7-5 over the Dallas Stars. It was one of those back and forth deals here in this game. So we'll see how this plays out. There's nothing overly strong because, Dallas with DeSmith does have a good winning record. Anaheim's not in the best of spots coming off a road trip. But Dallas is on a back-to-back, and some of DeSmith's numbers, I do believe, and I agree with, have been kind of inflated by facing some weaker offensive teams and teams that are in that, 28th, 30th, 31st in the league offensively type of categories. So I'm all over the place with this game. What I will do is say this. If I can get a live 2.5 on an Anaheim team total, I'm not taking Anaheim's team total at 3.5, not doing it. But if I can get it at 2.5, maybe we get a scoreless start, and I can get a live Anaheim team total over 2.5, I'll take it. But I'm going to wait for that 2.5 to show up because I took the San Jose team total over 2.5 last night pregame. I think I can make a case for Anaheim at 2.5 with their team total, but I'm going to wait for that in game. I'm also going to wait for a 5.5, not betting over at 6.5, especially with the way unders have been cashing last 2 nights. What do you think here in this one, Matt? Final game, your Dallas Stars taking on the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, this will be, I think, a good game. You've got 2 teams that are playing good hockey. Dallas coming on the back-to-back. I think, I could lean Anaheim. I think this is a toss-up game as far as sides go.
4-0 on the back-to-backs for Dallas, by the way. Good stat from Jonathan there.
Yeah, and I remember when Jonathan posted the last back-to-back they had on that East Coast road trip that they were 3-0. So it may be a game I take a shot with Dallas just because, again, I don't bet them a whole lot, but they're also, last night they were minus like 230 going into the game. It's, I'm not going to lay $230 to win $100. So because of that stat, I may take a shot with Dallas. It's not a heavy bet or strong lean. I think the Ducks are fully capable of winning this game as well. The play I like here the most is going to be a same game parlay. I think we've got a good shot for 2 in the first, and I think we definitely get over 5.5 if we do. 4 of the last 5 have gotten to at least 6. But 3 of those, you've got a 7, a 12, an 8. These teams are accustomed to scoring against each other. So, and you go farther back, there's some other over hits as well. So I'll take a shot with the same game parlay here. The other prop bet, it's not quite bargain bin worthy, so I will mention it. I'm going to take Jamie Benn anytime assist plus 240. He's had assists in 4 straight against the Ducks. He's obviously chipping in a lot, playing on that line with Robertson and Hentz. Robertson was left off the score sheet last night. I think Robertson goal tonight is definitely worth a look. He hasn't gone 2 games without a goal much in the last, 2 months. He's from Southern California, so he wants to play well. I'm sure his family will be at all of these games in the Central to Southern California road trip. So I think Robertson anytime goal is definitely worth a look. I think Jamie Benn anytime assist plus 240, given that he's had assists in 4 straight against the Ducks. I think that's a great look. He's getting a lot of opportunity, with the Sagan injury and things like that. I think he's probably, if Dallas is in the best form in the playoffs, I think Jamie Benn's probably sitting on your third line with maybe like a Maverick Bork and guys like that. But, with injuries and things like that, he's stepped up, and I think he's played really good hockey, especially given his age, what he's been through surgeries wise. He looks a little, he doesn't have the speed he never was a super fast guy, but he doesn't look 27 by any stretch. But he looks more like prime Ben, especially when he's in the offensive zone, banging bodies, finishing goals. That was a nice closeout goal for Dallas last night. I know it's an empty net, but it's a full ice empty net. Um, he's playing good hockey. So first period full game over. I'll be on for this game. I may take a shot with Dallas after seeing Jonathan's comment. But same game parlay is my big play, and then Jamie Benn anytime assist and Robertson anytime goal. Those will be my plays in this one.
There we go. So there you go. A little potpourri of various things there with the over by Fecta first period full game, the SGP, the couple props there with Robertson goal, Ben assist. So there you go, Matt, with some nice options there as far as that game is concerned. I agree with Jonathan's look too. I don't know if he posted that in our group chat or if he posted that in the YouTube comments. And I'm not too big into the goalie saves. I only dabble in it once in a while. But the goalie Bob saves prop over makes sense in the Florida-Carolina game. Carolina always shoots the puck a shit ton. High-volume shooting team. First time playing Florida since the ouster in the playoffs in the East Final. They might control the flow. They just rack up the shots on goal, the shot volume. And so Bobrovsky's probably going to face a lot of rubber tonight. I could definitely see that happening. So that Sergei Bobrovsky over saves might be worth a look as far as that game is concerned. That makes sense. And when you see, and that's what Carolina is doing a lot more now, even after getting Slavin back. They're just controlling, and they have the puck a lot more, and they're shooting more. So, yeah, definitely. And, to see Carolina get 30-plus shots tonight would not surprise me, and that'll put you in good shape to cash that Sergei Bobrovsky over saves prop there in that game. As far as props for this game for me, for Dallas and Anaheim here, I'm going to go with Kooky. Jackson Lacombe for Anaheim, 2 games in a row. He scored a goal for the Ducks and getting upwards of plus 700, more than plus 700 for him to score a goal tonight in this game for the Anaheim Ducks. Wyatt Johnston has scored in back-to-back games. So that might be worth a look here, too. I'm also going to sprinkle with Granlund, the former Dallas Star against his old team, now a member of the Anaheim Ducks, Michael Granlund. So those are some of the props I'm interested in. I like the Granlund and Lacombe looks more than anything here for Anaheim as far as the value is concerned. No question about that. Yeah, there's something wrong with Matt was telling me earlier about the fact that he was watching the Stars and the Sharks last night, and he could only get the San Jose broadcast. I guess because of where he is right now territorially in the Reno Tahoe area, and it's considered like a shark viewing region, I guess you could say. But there's something wrong when I can get Josh Bogorod and Razor last night, the Dallas broadcast in Canada, a totally different country, and Matt can't get it from where he is. There's something wrong with that.
Anytime Dallas is playing Vegas or San Jose, it blacks out that on ESPN Plus, and I have to watch it through YouTube TV. So yeah, it's annoying, but honestly, for a lot of my friends in Dallas, they don't have cable. They pay for ESPN Plus. They had 0 Dallas Stars games until Victory Plus came out as a free service. The thing with Victory Plus, though, is you have to have an IP address within the state, or I think Southern Oklahoma or whatever, to use it. So if I am in the Dallas area, I use a Victory Plus account, but when I'm out in Nevada, it doesn't work.
It'll put up the old location block on you for being where you are there in the Nevada region. But yeah, it's just the way it is. Blackouts are a bunch of nonsense. BS on that. But been screaming about blackouts across all these sports for years, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be changing anytime soon. Great show, Matt. Great job. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. It's a bit of a lighter day for me, and it tells you that, again, this is a very meandering NHL card. All my bets are smaller, and that's the thing with me with the premium service and the premium picks. For it to be a premium pick, it's got to be a strong opinion. It's got to be a bigger bet for me if it's going to go up on the website. And I didn't feel anything strongly about the NHL tonight. So there is no NHL premiums tonight. Everything is a smaller bet for me on the card tonight. But we do have a couple college football games for the weekend. We're going to have lots of NFL this weekend. NFL has been great. Absolutely spectacular NFL season. So make sure you check that out, wizardsportspicks.com. Huge NHL card tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. We'll definitely have some NHL plays up on the site for tomorrow. It's been profitable seasons at Wizard Sports Picks in NFL, NBA, college basketball and NHL so far this season. So make sure you check it out. Great roster of handicappers. I do the Beyond the Lines videos Fridays and Sundays. Check that out. Matt Robinson does them Tuesdays. And am I seeing this right? You're now going to be doing them Saturdays? Is this correct?
Yeah, David reached out and asked if I could do a Friday video for the Saturday slate for the next couple weeks. I don't know if there's a swap or conflict, but I'll be up tomorrow. I'm actually going to record right after we get off this show, so my video should be up sometime tonight for tomorrow's card. So check it out. I'm 2-1 in the last 4 straight weeks. I typically throw out 3 picks, like an NHL hat trick of picks. So look out for that tomorrow. Hopefully, we finally get across the board with the 3-0 bingo. So yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Great roster of handicappers. A lot of handicappers in great form right now. Matt's been up since joining the site, especially in NHL. So make sure you check it out. Of course, wizardsportspicks.com. Yeah, Wizard Sports Picks is close to what I post for the SoBet member subscribers, because I'm on that platform too, but it's not identical. It's not identical. But it's more similar SoBet to Wizard than it is. Dub Club is where you go. Like every time I place a bet, regardless of how small it is, it goes up and goes out to the SoBet or to the Dub Club members. At Dub Club, everything I bet goes there, gets sent out. Everything. Even if it's a 0.1 units bet, I post it, it gets sent out to everybody as far as that's concerned. So again, that's the Dub Club one, where it's the whole enchilada, the whole high volume approach from yours truly is available with that one. SoBet and Wizard, it's just we try to pinpoint and isolate the stronger bets, the better bets, no doubt. So anyway, check out wizardsportspicks.com and check out, of course, patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content, of course, exclusive live betcasts, many more coming up in the new year. A daily card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So make sure you check it out. $10 per month. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So check it out. Patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 per month for that. And of course, the Ice Guys store. Check it out. We're less than a week, I should say, from Christmas Day. So I don't know if you're going to get your orders now if you've in time for Christmas morning, but still get your gear and your merch. Check it out. iceguys.myspreadshop.com over at the Ice Guys store. Oh, by the way, before we get to best bets and bargain bin, the Saturday look ahead. Is there anything you want to throw out for Saturday? One game that you already have circled, Matt, for Saturday?
I think there's, again, I'm pacing lighter. I'm not taking a lot of overs, but I do like a few first period overs. One game that I've got circled for as a same game parlay is Montreal and Pittsburgh. I think, Pittsburgh has been giving
I'll
up
be
a
on
lot of
Montreal
goals.
team total over for sure. You can write that down.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah.
No doubt.
And then the other one, I was gonna jump on the first period over in that Nashville-Toronto game. I think Toronto's been so bad; they've been called out. Eventually they're gonna have to turn the page a little bit and have a good start. And Nashville is a team that I think they can do that against. So those are really the only looks. I mean, I know it's a big card, and I've got other plays that I'll mention on Beyond the Lines, but yeah, I'm treading lightly for a Saturday 13 game card. It won't be like a normal Saturday for me.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Dostal, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Lukáš Dostal is starting for Anaheim tonight against Dallas. So I think we figured it would be him. But they have sent Ville Husso back down to the American Hockey League because Peter Mrazek has come off the IR for Anaheim. And Anaheim plays Columbus at home tomorrow night. So there's a chance Mrazek might get that start coming off the injured list for the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow night. So just keep that in mind. Good stuff. Yeah, you don't even need to watch tomorrow's show to know I'll be on. Probably over by Fecta and Pittsburgh, Montreal, and more so Montreal team total over 3.5, because asking teams to score 4 goals against Pittsburgh right now doesn't seem to be like asking a lot with how atrocious this team continues to be defensively. So, but we'll break down the entire card tomorrow. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get to Bargain Bin Special and Best Bets. Those are coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks. featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Royal Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check it out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night for this Friday slate. 5 games to choose from. Matt, we'll start with you. Bargain bin special of the night.
Yeah. So I mentioned that I wasn't on Stefan anytime goal. Doesn't mean I don't have a Stefan Nason look for tonight's game. He's, not chipping in as often as he maybe was last year. I know he's dealt with some injuries. He's been in and out. So he's sitting lower in the lineup, but he still is on that first power play. Stefan Nason power play point is plus 550. I think, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's an assist. Either way, that's almost a 2-to-1 price. His goal prop is like plus 350. So you're getting a better price because when he does chip in, it seems to be on the power play. So I've got Stefan Nason power play point plus 550. And then I've also got a second bargain bin in Matt Duchene anytime goal plus 340. He's been playing with Rantanen and Wyatt. Obviously, Wyatt was the big 2-goal guy last game, but he's slowly looking more and more like himself. They're trying to get him involved. He felt in the interview after he had that 2-point night 2 games ago, he felt you felt some emotion. He feels good. He's kind of getting back into that rhythm. So I think he chips in tonight. So Duchene anytime goal plus 340 or plus 350. And then Stefan Nason power play point plus 550. Those will be my 2 bargain bins for the short card tonight.
There we go. 2 bargain bins for Matt for this Friday. 2 bargain bins for me. I already mentioned Anton Lundell earlier in the show. Bargain bin winner Wednesday night with him against Los Angeles, plus 330. Price is still great for Anton Lundell for Florida. That's my first bargain bin special of the night. The second one is going to be Dallas-Anaheim game. We're going to go to the defenseman there, Kookie, lend me Lacombe. Jackson Lacombe for the Anaheim Ducks, looking to make it 3 games in a row with a goal from the back end. Plus 700 is what you can get for Jackson Lacombe. So there you go. 2 bargain bin specials. Anton Lundell, Florida, plus 330, and Jackson Lacombe, Anaheim, plus 700 for bargain bin special of the night for this Friday. All right, best bets. Matt, we'll start with you. Best bet, what do you got?
So we went back and forth. I almost took Dallas first period over against the Ducks, but just given the short card, there was a few plays here and there, but I think I'm going to have to stick to what I like the most, and that's the Colorado Avalanche hosting the Winnipeg Jets and the first period over in that game. Just need 2. Could be 1-1, could be 2-0, could be 2-1. Just get us a first period over in that game. Continue the streak in Denver, and that'll be my best bet for tonight's December 19th card.
All right, there you have it. My best bet. We're gonna have a dual best bet here on the show. It's my best bet. So actually, on a card where nothing stands out, Carolina. I don't love the price enough. Vancouver Islanders over is only because of the series history. The one that I truly like the most is that first period over, Winnipeg, Colorado. So let's roll with that. The 13-1 run to the first period over with Winnipeg, Colorado over 1.5, minus 125 in the first period. for best bet for this Friday. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. Big Saturday card tomorrow. Very much looking forward to it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Matt Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a great Friday night. See you tomorrow on Saturday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.